No, we got you. You're okay. You're okay.
So good morning and welcome to the Mount Washington Cog Railway. My name is Tommy. I'll be your brakeman this morning. It'll be my job to make sure we don't break the sound barrier on the way down later. Please make sure I'm awake for that part. In the engine today we have Steve as our engineer and Artie is our fireman. Artie's got a lot of work to do on the way up. He's got a lot of coal to shovel to get us up the mountain this morning. So he's going to be a busy guy back there. My job on the way up, I'll be out here on the front platform keeping an eye on the tracks for us. On the way down, that'll be Artie's job. He'll get to take a break from shoveling later, and he'll watch the tracks while I'm doing the braking. A couple of things I'd like to go over quick before we do head up. First is this rope right here. That's the only thing that physically attaches us to the engine. We're not coupled to him at all. Don't worry, it was a brand new piece of rope last year. Everything will be just fine. It's actually for my use. If I do see a problem along the way, I'll give a pull on that. That'll alert Steve to stop the train for us. The door at the back of the coach there is for our use only. There's some places along the way. It's a very long ways down. We don't want anyone to use that door, please. The two black wheels at the back of the coach are my brake wheels. I'll be using those to control our descent later. So we don't want to overheat the brakes and wear them out on the way up. We'll leave those set off. And then in the far corner in the back, there's a little console. Has a couple of handles and a couple of gauges on it. That's our safety net. It's called a sprag. Set the way it is right now, it allows us to roll forwards but not backwards. So in the event that something did happen to the engine and they started to back away from us, we would not go with them. So I kind of like that one. I think we'll leave that set on. Sound good? I figured you'd go along with that. It is a non-smoking coach this morning. If you do feel the dire need along the way, just open up the window, stick your head out, take a big hit off the engine. That'll hold you for the rest of the day. Hopefully that'll entice you to quit altogether. You are free to move around the coach on the way up. I will ask that you wait until we get through the switch and across the bridge. But once we do get up above the bridge, you can get up and move around. You are going to want to hold on to the seat handles. It does get very steep and kind of bouncy, so do be careful. You go to the back of the coach, get some nice views out the back there. You are allowed to come up to the front door. You do need to stay inside the coach off the platform. But come on up, spend a couple of minutes, take some pictures. We'll try and give everybody some time up here at the door, all right? Any questions now before we head up? Nothing, huh? 60 people, nobody's got a question?
No, what happened on the way when nobody can read?
Exactly. So we should have clearance to head up here in just a few minutes. We might have a couple more coming on, so. We're supposed to be full, actually. All right, we got clearance to head up. Enjoy your trip, folks. I don't know what happened. Just be very careful. If any soot starts coming in, just watch it out.
I know how to do it. I'm paying attention.
Kids, they know everything, right?
Like they think they do.
What's he looking for?
Everybody hear me all right back there? Is that working all right?
Yeah.
Okay, folks, hold on. There's going to be a burst of acceleration here. There, did you feel that? one set up here, that's what all this wood is. There was another dirt landing strip over here. We had people from Red Bull up here, and they were jumping bicycles over the train. So check on their site, there's probably some video of that. But there will be a longer video coming up in just a month or two. So actually, folks, I would like to welcome you to the 150th anniversary season of the Mount Washington Cog Railway. Pretty amazing. It was back in the late 1850s, and a man named Sylvester Marsh had gone hiking up the mountain with his pastor. Well, they got stuck up on top of the mountain for 3 days in bad weather. Sylvester, being an inventor, said there's got to be a better way to get up and down the mountain, and he proposed building a railway. Went to the New Hampshire legislature to get a charter to build this railway, and got laughed at. They told him, don't even bother stopping when you get to the top of the mountain. Keep going until you get to the moon. You're crazy. It can't be done. Well, he went back to the legislature with a working model of a train that could climb using the cog and rack system, just like we're using right now, and also using what he described as an atmospheric braking system, so they can descend safely, much like our engine will be doing later. And they said, if you think you can do it, go ahead. So we partnered with some of the local railways to get funding. They actually built a spur line from the train station down at the end of the road, so they could bring people up to the base area. Started building the tracks in 1866. It was July 3rd of 1869 when we first started pushing the passengers all the way to the summit. As you were coming up this morning, you might have noticed an odd-looking contraption on a trailer down below the parking lot there. That was Peppersass, the original engine. Actually, it was originally named Hero, but the workers thought that the vertical boiler looked like a Peppersass bottle. That's where the name came from. But by those standards, we're really flying along today. It'll take us about an hour to get to the summit. It took Peppersass 3 to 4 hours to get to the summit. That was a wood-burning engine, had a very small tender, so they had to stop a number of times along the way to get more wood and more water. So we're really cruising right about now. The river down below all the way up to the summit, you'll notice that the tracks are trestled up off the ground. One reason for that is an area just like this right here. It allows us to keep our grades more consistent, make it easier for the engine to push us up the mountain. But they also found out during the Civil War that it's easier to maintain and repair the trestling as opposed to building a rail bed. So it's trestled all the way up. Grade on the tracks is about 25%. For every 100 feet we travel forward, we'll climb an average of 25. We do have some places along the way where we go up over a 30% grade. One of those places, that hill right here in front of us, that's called Cold Spring Hill, and it's a 34% grade now.
haven't been bouncing around the same gauge.
Well, I could walk to the pad.
Right. Well, my cousin is a Tommy. Who? Lynn Conley. Steve, Tommy, and Lynn Conley.
That's got to be
Steve and Tommy were in winter. They're old, way older than you and I are. Lynn is 7 years older than 6 years older than you.
Put the same age as my older sister.
That's why I texted her already and asked her if she better recognize her.
And I had another sister, Debbie, who was a cheerleader. No, I was on Academy.
Oh, God, that's so sorry.
On, like just west of Oakland.
What about the reps?
Yeah.
See, the rep was a good friend of mine. The Barretts were across the street. Mr. Barrett was my father's best friend.
Right around the corner with the Andersons and the McInerney.
Yep,
FX McInerney was my brother.
Ah, there you go. My father knew him well.
Yeah.
Mrs. Anderson was my Cub Scout head mother.
We can do this for 3 hours.
You're not kidding, man. You are the first person I went to.
So once we get up over this first ridge, we'll go through the second of our 4 new switches here at the railway. We went through the first one as we were leaving the base area. All these switches were designed and built right here. The first one down by the base went in about 2001. We had the next 2 up ahead. When we put in our passing track, we realized our new diesel engine would be faster and we'd be able to do all our passing here in the middle. So that's one of my jobs on the way up, to make sure the switches are set properly. So we'll pull up to the switch, I'll check it out good, and then I'll signal the engineer it's okay to proceed. Every once in a while, somebody might ask us, why are the trees growing on an angle? They're not. They're growing straight up. I'm standing straight up, aren't I? Wait, it'll get even better.
Standing straight up. No,
we are going to pass very close to the water tank up ahead. Please stay inside the windows until we get past the tank. Thank you. Thank you.
How far does that spur go?
Not quite half a mile.
Oh, it broke.
I need water.
Oh, don't say tender in the back holds a little over 700 gallons, and we just went through a good portion of that, so we're going to top it off. Make sure we have enough water to make steam to get to the summit. To turn all that water into steam, our fireman Artie is going to shovel about a full ton of coal today as well. Especially with a good full coach like this, he's a busy guy. About 3 to 4 times in a minute or so, he'll reach back, he gets a good shovelful with one hand. He'll take a couple of steps forward, open the firebox door with the other hand so he can throw that in. He'll do that as he sees necessary to keep the fire good and hot, keep us making steam and moving along. So he's a busy guy back there. So I don't know if we can see it right now. There's a large building up on top of the ridge off to the right. Might be living up to its name too. We might be able to see it. But it's part of the Appalachian Mountain Trail System. It's called the Lakes of the Clouds Hut. For about $100 a night, you get a nice warm bed and a nice home-cooked meal. It's only one bad part. You gotta hike it. Yep. Yeah, it's the only way to get up there. It takes about 2 hours from the base area to get there, but it is very nice. It sits up on top of the ridge, overlooking Ammonoosuc ravine off to our right. There are 2 small bodies of water up there. Those are the Lakes of the Clouds. They're the highest bodies of water east of the Mississippi River. They form the headwaters to the Ammonoosuc River you were passing on your way up this morning. The water coming out of those 2 lakes will eventually wind up in Long Island Sound. Guys, hold on. It's going to be a little bump.
We're down to Connecticut first.
Yep. Yeah, we got to go out to the Connecticut and then out to Connecticut to the Sound.
We live 25 minutes away from that. We're down here. Southern Vermont, North Shore, West Nova.
Once they turn, you'll be able to get back the picture, I think.
Once we get back onto the main line up ahead, we're going to pass a small building just to the right of the tracks. That's called the halfway house. Marks the halfway point, our elevation rise up to the summit. Get a good look as you go by. It's going to look kind of funny, kind of like these buildings, but it will actually be perfectly level. We won't be. You'll get an idea as we go by. There's a picture window on the side of the building. You'll see your reflection, give you an idea of the grade that we're on right there. Then after we go by the halfway house, there's going to be a white board just to the right of the tank. Kind of looks like an oversized surfboard, but it's there to highlight the rock formation right in front of it. If we get closer to that, you'll see the profile to a man's face in that formation. He'll be facing this way. There's a very strong resemblance to the old man in the mountain. Unfortunately, we did lose the old man back in 2003 in Franconia Notch, but this one looks really close, so I'll point that out. See if we can see that out. Unfortunately, the hut is just up into the clouds today. Maybe we get these clouds out of here, we'll see it on the way down. But after we go by that rock profile, then comes the fun part. It's a trestle called Jacob's Ladder. It stands about 30 feet off the ground. We're going to make a 30-degree turn to the left, and it's on a grade of 37.41%. That's the steepest part of the track. We'll have you stand up when we get there. It's fun.
Wide enough.
do have a crew of 3 to 4 guys that work on the tracks for us. Pretty much a constant thing from April to November. But twice a month, the track crew will walk all the way down the tracks. They inspect everything on the way down, all the trestling, the rack, the rail, make sure the bolts are tight, the spikes are driven down. If they see anything they don't like, they'll mark it with orange paint, notate it in their logbook, and they reference the cap numbers you see on top of the trestling. That way the guys know where to come up and do that work. They can do a lot of it in between trains. They'll have their equipment set up and ready to go. After the train goes by, they can jack up a section of tacks, pull out the old parts, put the new parts in place, and then tighten it all back down. They keep everything good in shape for us. Coming up on our third switch here, go through that in just a minute, get back onto the main line. You notice a little building just to the left of the tracks. That's part of the switch system. There's solar panels on top of that charge a battery. That powers a hydraulic pump. That pump works an actuator hooked to the linkage on the right-hand side of the switch. So as the actuator moves in and out, it works that linkage, and it moves that whole center V section back and forth for us. A lot nicer than our old switches. The old switches had 9 moving pieces, all had to be done by hand, in a certain sequence, and some of those pieces went up to 200 pounds. So this is a whole lot easier. Oh yeah, I totally get it now. Engineer here. Came up with that idea. Great idea. I heard that they kind of designed it up to open. That makes sense. Okay, doesn't want to know what your system is. Debbie designed her own thing. Diane. It's R-O-E-N. So now off to our left, we can see a little ways across Burke's Ravine. That was named for Henry Burke, gentleman who printed a newspaper on the summit called Among the Clouds. As we go through this next stretch, you're going to notice that the trees are going to start to get much, much shorter very quickly. Branches are going to be a lot shorter, a lot more gnarly. That's all due to the prevailing weather conditions. Once we get up above Jacob's Ladder, we'll start to pass above tree line. There wasn't this Kansas, and obviously my dad was the assistant scout very much. halfway house. Again, get a look in the picture window, you'll see your reflection. You'll also notice a little weather station here at the halfway house. Mount Washington Observatory keeps weather stations at various locations around the presidential range. Vacation up here when I was growing up. Yeah. I rode this when I was about 5 years old. One thing I remembered was the soot coming in the window. That's what I remember too. And it still comes in the window. I'll be up there every once in a while. I'll get a hot one land on my hand. Oh yeah. The first time I was up there was 6. Yeah, this is not the back of that. So we're coming up on the rock profile just to the right of the track. We can just about make out the white board. It's got a black border around it. Again, as you get closer, you'll see the profile facing this way. You can see his chin, his nose, and his forehead. Right here. You see it pretty clearly here. If we get too close to it, we lose the angle on it, we lose the formation.
The white thing behind it, so you can see that.
That's why we took the board Alright, so as we come around this next bend up ahead, we'll be coming out onto Jacob's Ladder. Again, this is the steepest part of the track, it's over 37% grade. I like to tell everybody I can be in 2 places at once. Inside and outside. Give you another idea how steep it is right here. Stand up, folks, check it out. Yep. We're going over Jacob's Ladder. The front of the coach where I'm standing is approximately 14 feet higher than the rear of the tender. original Jacob's ladder got blown over in the New England hurricane of 1938. There's pictures around that show the tracks turned up on their side. When the trestle went over, it twisted the tracks up with it.
Same thing, you wiped out the arm.
My father said he remembers his thousands of fire islands floated all the way across the bay.
Yeah, my dad told me, he remembered the eye came over, the whole town came back out and thought everything was over. Well, like, that's where everybody got killed.
My father got right out of school. He lived like a half a block from school.
Yep.
And anybody that lives within a certain distance, go now. He ran home.
This house was the one.
This is in Sable.
Oh, right, okay.
I think he was on, I think the school was on the
Yeah.
across the street, living in somebody's backyard.
He was there, huh? My dad lived on that farm, Little Road, and
My dad lived on railroad.
Bought the house with my dad.
So now that we're up above Jacob's ladder, you'll notice how much shorter all the trees have gotten. It's about as big as they'll ever get up here. Very little opportunity for growth. And very shortly we'll be above tree line. Really clear day.
Well, he had a good day 3 years ago. We drove up the road, and he had the opportunity to see it on a perfect day. See the ocean?
It's always fun when we get up there and I point that out to people.
Safety officer.
Right over here, just off to the right of the tracks, you'll see Frog Rock. About 6 weeks ago, at the beginning of June, Froggy was all white. He was covered with rime ice one morning. So right here is another steeper part of the track. It's an area called Long Castle. It's about a 35% grade here.
Nothing?
You should walk back there and take a picture. Do you want to sit back here now? On this side by the window, or you can walk? There's not much to see now. Take down the back.
Now we're up on top of the ridge. We're above tree line. So from time to time you might see some large piles of rocks out there. Those are called cairns, and they mark the trails for the hikers up above tree line. So on days like this, the hikers can go from cairn to cairn. Here in just a minute off to your left. We'll be passing over the west side trail on the western face of Mount Washington. Have you been back there?
Go back. As long as we stand.
It's pretty neat back there. You can see the engine running there.
I'll watch it. Hold on.
Over here, just to the left of the track, you see the large cannon. Right there, we'll see another one just a little ways back. We'll see a couple more off to the right. We're passing over one of the hiking trails right here. You'll see some more off to the left as we're going up. Outside trail is running about pound up to the back here. The large valley is just on the other side, only about 50 yards off. That's called the Green Knoll. closer to the summit, it's up ahead to our right. They get a quick glimpse of it here and there. We'll be going to the Sherman Adams Summit building, and that's where the Weather Observatory is located. There'll be a round turret at the end of the building. That's where all the instruments are. So anytime you hear about the weather on Mount Washington, that's where it's coming from. I'm sure many of you have heard about the weather we get up here. It does get very extreme at times. Oh yeah? Frequently we get winds up over 100 miles an hour. So you're getting a little taste of it today. But back in late February, we had a really bad storm up here. They had a wind gust up on the summit of 171 miles an hour. When we get up there, you'll notice that's a pretty solid cement building. Well, that day, one of the weather observers said he put his coffee cup down on the table, and you can see it shaking. That's pretty intense. So Mount Washington does still hold the record for the highest man-made recording of a wind gust. That was 231 miles an hour during a storm in April of 1934. The weather observers would count the clicks as the anemometer would spin, and they were timing that with a stopwatch. Then they put those numbers into a formula to figure out the wind speed.
They probably did something wrong.
Well, they were talking to somebody on a radio, and they were doing it simultaneously, and they came up with the same number. One reason we do get such extreme weather up here is our location up here in northern New England. We're in the path of three main storm tracks. Storms that come up the eastern seaboard, across the middle of the country, or across the Great Lakes, all generally pass through this region. When those air masses hit these higher summits, they get forced up over the mountains and compressed. That helps to accelerate the winds up to such high speeds. Also helps to keep us in the fog quite often. Just up ahead on top of this next little ridge, you see some more of the rock cairns on either side of the track. That's called the Great Gulf Trail, and it's a portion of the Appalachian Trail. The Appalachian Trail starts at Springer Mountain in northern Georgia, runs through 14 states, over 2,100 miles, and it ends up in northern Maine at Mount Washington. For a through hiker to go end to end takes about 6 months. They'll start down in Georgia in the springtime, work their way north. Usually passing through here in late July or August. From here, a hiker still has almost 300 miles to go to get up to Mount Washington. What's the matter? It's not cold. Looking like a ninja back there. As you can tell, folks, we are very close to the top of the cloud layer. Keep getting little breaks of sun. So keep your cameras handy. You never know when we might get a nice view. other copies of that sign inside the building. That's actually a really good one. They must have put that on.
I know.
Now we're getting the breeze. Wardrobe change. So we're coming up right here on our summit switch. It's also our newest and largest. Gives us 2 lines up onto the summit. This way we can get more trains in and out up here. So we will be getting up top here in just a couple of minutes. Once we do get up top, please remain seated until we come to a complete stop. I'm going to jump off the train for a minute and guide it in, and then I'll be back with you. Thank you. That's okay. I can do that. You don't want to wear on.
Yeah, you're not kidding. No.
But for now, just like one little one like that?
two parts to add attach back over here on that one ridge. But if you look just below the part, like to hike in and ski, there's probably still snow in the bottom of the ravine. Prevailing winds blow all the snow this way into Tuckerton and Huntington ravines. It only held 25 or 30 people. We got almost 70 people on here today. So this engine really isn't designed to handle this much weight. We have 6 biodiesels. We're in the process of building number 7, but there are only 7 of them. We do have something to navigate that make us around the course.
as it gets closer.
People feel uncomfortable.
Why are you taking...
Ooh, look at those diesel people.
Not until it goes by. Here, I'll get this one. You can have that.
You can put your knee up there. Don't mind.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna put
You have a baby.
You got a good shot of the line.
Piling them up.
Yeah, I was looking out the window. The next thing I know, I'm here. What? I don't know, honestly.
Clothing wise. I'd like to do that next summer.
Alright, we made it.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
The average descent in Mount Shingle was about 15 minutes. However, thrill seekers would race to see how fast they could descend 3 miles of track with speeds over 60 miles an hour.
So you can't